Is everyone misusing the term Mary Sue?
This is the off week and it doesn't have a theme song yet. Doot 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 doot. This is all you get. Doot 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 doot.
Hi, I'm Trey Dorn of nerdandtie.com, and this little show you're watching is The Off Week, a new show that we're doing every 2 weeks whenever we're not doing a regular or special episode of the full, hour plus long podcast. So the whole idea is to try something where we raise a few questions and talk to you about an issue that maybe will get you thinking about something that you weren't thinking about before, or at least not that much about, or something. I don't know what goes on in your head, just what goes on in mine, which is what we're going to go over, because that's what we're here to talk about. You made that needlessly complicated. Shut up. Anyways, what we're here to talk about is Mary Sue's. Mary Sue's. This term gets thrown around a lot, and it has been thrown around about Rey, the lead character in Star Wars The Force Awakens. I don't think Rey is a Mary Sue, but it got me thinking, what exactly does the term mean? Because, again, people are throwing it around, but I don't know if they've really thought about, what a Mary Sue is. And so I think we should go back and review where the heck the term came from. All words have origins. The term Mary Sue comes from an old Star Trek fanfic by Paula Smith, 1973's A Trekkie's Tale, to be precise, in which a main character named Mary Sue is inserted into the Enterprise crew, and everybody loves her. She's great at everything, and has no flaws, and is just perfect, and just kind of shoehorned in there. Like, she doesn't naturally fit in the canon at all, but just kind of shoved in. This was a parody fanfic of bad self-insert fanfic, and it was so good at parodying the tropes of bad self-insert that female self-insert characters started to get referred to as Mary Sues. The gender normalized as female because, frankly, a lot of fanfic writers are women. They just have been historically. I don't know if the current breakdown of statistics, but historically, at least at the time that A Trekkie's Tale was written, the majority of fanfic writers were women. And that's why the Mary Sue stuck. Is Echo Warrior, created by William A. Renfeld, an old Transformers fanfic character from 17 years ago. You were reading Transformers fanfic 17 years ago? That is totally not the point. But Echo Warrior was from the future and knew a lot about history, and was just as much a Mary Sue in the way he was written as, say, Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way, created by Tara Gillespie. And while the term Mary Sue may be useful when writing about bad self-insert fanfiction, note that you said bad self-insert fanfiction. Very astute of you to notice. It doesn't really apply to regular fiction. Nevertheless, critics have started to use the term Mary Sue to apply to any strong female character who doesn't have some crippling flaw. It's gotten so poisonous that women young adult authors and just any woman who writes a lead female character will get asked in interviews now if their lead character is a Mary Sue. And that's just dumb. And it's dumb for two reasons. One of the fundamental things that makes a Mary Sue is the fact that they've been shoehorned in and just shoved into the story, just stuck right in there. Writing in Julie, the Emperor Palpatine's best friend, that in a story that takes place between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi might feel super awkward and jammed in there. Although I totally want to watch that movie now. At least read a really poorly written script form fanfic. Dude. But in a piece of original fiction, the character by default actually has to exist. There's no version of the story that exists without it. There's no version of Mad Max Fury Road that does not have Furiosa in it. Therefore, she cannot be a Mary Sue in that story, as she is vital to the original piece of fiction. You know, if anyone feels like a self-insert character in Fury Road, it's Max. Now you've just found the core of the entire franchise. The other reason this criticism is stupid is because it's not applied to male characters. Rey in The Force Awakens has been criticized for her ability to pick up and use a lightsaber right away, even though it's established early on in the movie that she is a talented melee fighter. Spoilers. And during her lightsaber battle, she's fighting an injured, spoilers, inexperienced, spoilers, opponent. We've seen in the story that she's good at swinging things, so why isn't she therefore necessarily okay at swinging this other thing? That makes her a Mary Sue? That's dumb. But people don't talk about Luke Skywalker that way, even though the entirety of Luke Skywalker's lightsaber training was swinging a stick at a flying ball in the Millennium Falcon. Ben dies, spoilers, long before he really could train everything. Yoda never trained him on lightsabers. There is just nothing. Yet he's somehow able to take on a Jedi-trained, one of the most talented lightsaber fighters in the universe, not once, but twice, spoilers, and he holds his own pretty well the first time and wins the second. You know, that second time, it's with a lightsaber that he built from spare parts. Just because he knew how. Because of the Force or something. I don't really know how that works. I've used a smartphone a lot, but I can't build one. I'm just saying. Now, some people have tried to adapt the term Gary Stew or Marty Stew when talking about a male character, but these only get brought up in the context where someone's already been contesting a character as a Mary Sue. It never just gets brought up on its own. No one says, well, that Batman's such a Gary Stew because he's the best at everything. No one does that. And while characters who are good at everything are sometimes less interesting to watch, that doesn't mean they're inherently bad. Sometimes it's nice to have that wish fulfillment and that power fantasy on screen, and there's no reason why female characters can't fall into the same patterns that male characters have throughout the history of cinema and scripts. We don't need this term. It's a garbage term. Throw it out. Don't apply the term Mary Sue. If you're not interested in a character, don't be interested in a character. But to say there's something inherently wrong with a female character who's not deeply flawed, that's not useful. That's not helpful. And the fact is that Mary Sue, because we, frankly, as a culture, tend to judge fanfic negatively by applying this term, by implying the fan fiction connection, whether you're doing it consciously or not, you are often attempting to apply the negative connotations, as again, this was a term meant to mock bad fanfic. You said bad fanfic. I did, didn't I? It's that implication is just stupid. Stupid. It's not useful. It's not a useful term to apply to a character in an original piece of fiction. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Leave a comment, post a response on Twitter or Facebook, and or anywhere. Just anywhere. Go to the contact form at nerdandtie.com. Tell us what you think, and maybe we'll address it in another off week. And stuff. It'll be great. Be great. And while you're here, like, comment, and subscribe to this thing that we're doing now. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Because, I'm going to keep doing them for a while. Probably. I don't have an end theme yet. Do.